Okay, so this video is about a battle I've been fighting for almost 2 years, and dealing with all this shit and the stress that's coming out of it is starting to really cut into the production of the videos I make for this channel. So if you support my channel in any way, I would really love it if you took the time to watch this video, because the only person that can help me here is you, and you deserve to know why videos might be taking a little bit longer than usual. This video is a warning. If you know someone in the Machinima network, if you're thinking of signing with them, or if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel at all, stay the fuck away from them. Just don't. Stay independent. They're fucking liars. They use fake names and they trick you. They'll do anything to trick you into signing away your revenue. And I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to be dramatic, but the only person that can help me here is you. My situation is only going to change if you guys, my fucking incredible subscribers, make your voices heard. Because even though I might have you guys as my subscribers, at the end of the day, I am only one person who can only email so many times, who can only tweet so many times to try and grab someone's attention. I really have put off doing this for a long time. But honestly, having to deal with all this shit and explain it to person after person after person who might be able to help me is really fucking cutting into editing time, and it's putting a genuine strain on the channel, and they are sucking up to $600+ a month out of me for doing nothing but ignore me. So Machinima have had a shit reputation for a long time, but unfortunately, being a bright-eyed, freshly created YouTuber, I still perceived Machinima as the powerhouse they were back 5 or 6 years ago. I used to love watching Call of Duty videos, and it seemed that back then, if you were with Machinima, you'd kind of made it. So when I had maybe like 90 or 100 subscribers, I mistakenly signed up for Machinima and was accepted into their partner program. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning because there's a number of things that have happened between Machinima and I over the last 2 years, and this last thing that happened, this thing that happened a few weeks ago, it really was the final straw. But before that, I've had numerous run-ins with Machinima in the past, which have included one of my videos getting click-bombed and dislike botted to shit when I used to do Minecraft videos, resulting in my AdSense being disabled, them ignoring email after email from me knowing that if I didn't have an AdSense account, then I wouldn't be able to get into another network. So I basically couldn't leave the network. I had to stay with them if I wanted to monetize my channel. Despite the fact they very clearly have contacts with Google who could have sorted this shit out, today it still remains an unresolved problem. So even if I do leave Machinima, I have no fucking idea if I'm going to be able to get into another network or even monetize my channel for that matter, because of this thing that happened like 2 years ago because of somebody on a Minecraft forum. They told me no many times, and I must have sent like 30 or 40 emails to them over the course of a few months. And it felt like my channel was being held hostage. I was stuck on a 60-40 split with Machinima, meaning that they took almost half of my entire ad revenue, which resulted in me having to straight up tell them that I was going to quit YouTube, not before unmonetizing all of my videos, so that I could live knowing that they wouldn't get another penny from me. They also straight out refused to give me managed partner, meaning that at any moment I could get fucked by the big swinging dick of copyright. Despite having over 2 million views the last month and over 160,000 subscribers, I have never had a copyright strike in my entire 2+ years on YouTube, but I am a high risk partner and I will never get managed status within Machinima apparently. All of this bullshit has made me completely jaded towards Machinima, with the exception of a really few handful of people who are really hardworking guys in other departments, like on the hub channels, Machinima Realms, whatever. The network side of things is fucking abysmal though, fake names and copy and paste customer service bullshit. And what scares me the most of all of this is the fact that this is happening to a channel like mine. And I'm not saying that I'm a big channel, but I'm certainly big enough that I can actually make a video like this and expect my really fucking awesome viewers to step into the ring and help me out. There is probably countless other smaller channels that are getting completely fucking ignored, and there has to be, because if someone who is actually making these shitlords hundreds of fucking dollars a month is getting straight up ignored, and I have to send 3 or 4 follow-up emails being like, did you read this? Did you get that email? Then I can only assume that there are people from the 1 subscriber range to 50,000, 100,000 who haven't even had an email back in a fucking month. So, after I decided that I was sick of having my channel held hostage, I decided to go full nuclear on them. I threatened to shut everything down, or at least do everything unmonetized. I'd still continue uploading, but everything would be unmonetized. No one would make any money. This did actually end up working and I was put in touch with a guy called Mickey at Machinima, who you won't be surprised to hear doesn't work there anymore. Now, Mickey talked with me on Skype about giving me an extra 20% cut in ad revenue, meaning that I went from 60% ad revenue to 80%. And to be honest, this was music to my ears at the time, to actually see them finally giving a shit. And I must admit, I was incredibly naive. I briefly spoke to Mickey on Skype and he reassured me that nothing was changing in my contract apart from the extra 20% being added to my ad revenue. I gave the contract a quick scan, read over things, everything seemed completely fine, except it would appear later on that Mickey knew something that I didn't. You see, there is a phrase in that contract that was called initial term. Now, I was led to believe that that meant when I signed back in 2013, the initial term that I signed my initial contract, meaning that I was still due for release from the network at the same time. And I was assured that that was the case. I was going to be free from this hell in September of 2016. I was willing to do my time. I made a really big mistake signing with them, and I felt like this was just part of my punishment. This was going to teach me a lesson about the world. Now, this was in April 2014 when I signed this, and I decided to keep my head down and just keep making videos for you guys. And this year has been absolutely incredible. In 2015, my channel has grown by over 100,000 subscribers, and I couldn't be happier. I decided to send one of the girls at Machinima, Dana, who I was in contact with, an email to be like, hey, I'm doing great, maybe we can crank it up to a higher revenue share, 90% would be good, which was met with the assurance it would be passed on to the contract department, who, at this point, I really believe are just some fucking Nazi chimpanzees in a cupboard. Now, I left this for a month, and I followed up a month later saying that although I know it wasn't her fault, the contract team are hilariously fucking incompetent, I just cannot justify that I'm giving away like $400, $500, $600 a month when the only thing in Machinima that helps content creators out is one of the channels like Machinima Realms where people have their videos featured, and you don't even need to be on the network to actually get on that fucking channel. I told her that I have absolutely no plans to re-sign my contract in 2016 because $400, $500, $600, that is a lot of money. That is like almost half the rent for my house for a month of living, a month I can like keep my mother and my brother and me inside my house, and I'm giving that away per month to some people that aren't doing anything to help me. Now, I already knew deep down that I was going to stop with Machinima as soon as the contract ran out, but I thought I'd make sure and tell them probably not going to re-sign, you good. However, this was when I learned that I wasn't going to be getting out of my contract for another 6 or 7 months after I thought I was. This was in September. I signed that contract in April 2014. Yes, took over a year for them to actually tell me that I wasn't getting out when I thought I was. Nowhere did this guy say at the time that my time was being extended. Fucking nowhere. In fact, the guy specifically assured me over Skype that nothing would change apart from my cut of revenue. But I can't prove shit because it was an informal negotiation over Skype, so I was pissed off beyond belief at this point. And it was at this point that Dana passed me on to a manager called Brody Tyler. Now, Brody Tyler, who was referred to as a manager, was actually a talent scout. You know, one of those people that fucking email you being like, hey, do you want to join our network? We have a really competitive CPM. Yes. I was incredibly confused at first. I was expecting a manager or someone with any form of power within the company, and I was forwarded to a fucking talent scout. He sent me an email the night I had this conversation with Dana and asked me to tell me what the issue was. Within 15 minutes of receiving that email, I had responded to the email. It took him a fucking week and 2 more follow-up emails to finally get a response out of him. And he ended up just giving me the most copy and paste customer service bullshit ever. It was literally like this guy was fucking taking lines out of a script. And he even had the fucking audacity to offer me managed status, a 90% revenue cut, if I signed for 3 more fucking years. I was unbelievably pissed off. Now, I spent all this time trying to get someone to listen to me about being tricked into fucking getting stuck in this place for longer. Someone to actually empathize with me, and now they're fucking dangling 3 more years of prison in front of my nose. And it was at this point that I realised if it worked the last time, I might as well do it again. I said that if I don't actually get these issues resolved, and if someone doesn't talk to me like a human and not a fucking robot, that I would make a video like this, and make sure that the amount of people that learn about these shady fucking practices would be worth far more money than I was worth to them. That I would call in as many favours from as many of my friends as I could that I've made over the last 2 years to retweet, repost this fucking video to try and strong arm them into releasing me, because it seems like that's the only negotiation tactic they actually respond to. The fact that I am making this video that you're watching it should tell you that that tactic did not work. You see, Brody Tyler wasn't concerned with his reputation within the company being smeared. He didn't give a shit if I called him out publicly, and there was a pretty good reason for that. You see, I actually got a chance to speak to someone who used to work with Machinima, and he knows how fucked up everything behind the scenes are, which is why he doesn't work there anymore. Brody Tyler does not exist. His name is actually Michael Hilson, and he has been using a fake name to talk to me this entire time. Now, I am aware that in customer service, it's not uncommon for people to use different names over the phone when talking to customers, but contracts, hundreds of dollars a month changing hands, where the fuck is the trust in this? Does this company actually have the slightest bit of confidence in what they're doing, or do they just need to lie, cheat and steal because that's just the world we live in? So Brody told me that it was common practice for time to be extended in these circumstances, but couldn't seem to see that whilst it may be common practice, I would have very much liked to have been made aware of these common practices at the time, rather than having to have been lied to and then fucking learn about it a year and a half later. My conversation with Brody went dark. I realised that it was pointless arguing with someone who, despite being likely in the same building as someone who could terminate my contract at any time for any reason, he was just a worker peon, he was far too scared, he wasn't going to do shit about it. Now, this was in October, and I had almost given up hope until I managed to get hold of two people who were managers of sorts for the Machinima network. Genuine people with power within the company that could help me. Their names were Amber Howard and Chris Landa. I sent them a huge detailed email on the 1st of December, thinking that this might be a way to at least get my sentence reduced, to get someone who could empathise with me and be like, okay, this guy lied to you, we'll cut your sentence down a little bit, let you out earlier at the very fucking least. So I sent that email on December 1st, and the lights are still dark. Both of them have totally ignored me. I do still have the email address of Steven Semprevivo, the president of Machinima, that I have yet to actually utilise, but at this point, I wouldn't be remotely surprised if he was just like all of his employees. I have been willing to compromise this entire time. I have been so willing to play ball this whole time if it meant getting out early, but each time I'm just met with a brick wall. And honestly, I have no idea what might happen to my channel because of this video. Since they are my network, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to fuck me around, start screwing with my videos, unmonetizing them, deleting them. But still, all I can really hope is that you watch this video and realised how fucking horrible this network are, how unethical and desperate they are to suck every single penny out of you. You're nothing but a pile of cash waiting to be extracted to them, and don't let them trick you like they tricked me by pretending to give the smallest shit in the world. Machinima, if you're watching this, please do the right thing for once. Let the last page of this story be a happy ending for me at least. You guys have done enough to me over the last 2 and a bit years. Just fucking cut me loose, and I'm willing to never even utter the name of your company ever again. I'm so sorry this video took longer than I hoped, but it has been the culmination of 2 years of struggle. But you guys deserve to know because it is cutting into your entertainment, and I should be working on the Why I Hate Soraka right now, but I had to deal with this shit. So it's only right that you guys, my viewers, my fucking loyal subscribers, my fucking friends, deserve to know what has been fucking stressing me out for the last 2 years. So thank you very much for watching.